Alright, so when I'm graphing tangent of x, I'm still going to write the letters are above it or below it so I can identify them. A equals 1. Class, what does the A stand for? Alright, so as one teacher would say, this is called a fake amplitude. It's not really going to help us for tangent, but I still want you to go through the motions of finding the letters. Class, what is our B value? My B value there is 1. The B value helps us find the period. Now, normally the period for sine and cosine is 2 pi over b. For tangent, it's going to be pi over b. Let's make that very clear. So highlight it, star it. So in our problem, if I put in 1 there, that means my graph is going to take a length of pi to finish graphing tangent. Okay? Now, do we have a C value, class?
No.
How do you know there's no C value? There's no parentheses, so there's no phase shift. Is there a D value?
No.
There's no numbers, right? Plus or minuses, so there's none. So there's no what? No vertical shifts. Okay, we've done this so far. The only thing that's different is our period, just the equation. Now, this tells you the total length of the trig function, but it doesn't tell you where to start and where to end. Previously, sine and cosine took a period of 0 to 2 pi to finish. Tangent takes 0 to pi. And we did this inequality before. So what you're going to put here is everything to the right. Everyone say that.
Everything to the right.
Everything to the right of the trig function you're going to put there. We've kind of done that before, haven't we? Most of the time you did that when you saw the parentheses. You can do it when you don't have any parentheses like we're going to do. And this is going to show you why that my values are going to be between 0 and pi. So I'm going to start here at 0. And then I'm going to finish end by pi. Now, when we're going to draw the x-axis, I want you to draw it in a place where you have lots of room. I'm going to put it in the middle of my page because I'm going to want to extend it to the right and to the left later on. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 5 points now. So let me connect this to your prior knowledge. Step 1, we found the period. Step 2, we're going to find our intervals. I find my 4 intervals, or just intervals in general, the x-axis, by doing this inequality because it tells me where to start and where to end. So, to get my 4 intervals, I need 5 points. And again, put these 5 points in the middle because I'm going to need more space to the left and to the right later. So I have 0, I have pi, and again, if you've been struggling with the fractions, you can do this technique. We're just going to double it. What are we going to do? So if I double this, what do I get? 0 pi over 2. And this one will become what? 2 pi over 2. Let me explain why I did that. You cannot take the average of, you can, but it's difficult with fractions. 0 plus 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. So technically this is just pi over 2, right? Well, it makes more sense to a student when I can say 0 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 pi over 2. Well, again, see here, I can't do that. So I'm going to double them again. If I double it again, class, what do I get here? 0 pi over 4. And this one will be 4 pi over 4. And then this one will be what? So 0 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1 pi over 4. 2 plus 4 divided by 2 is 3 pi over 4. And you can see that we're just kind of counting by ones now. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Alright, if you get lost, circle the x values. So this is 0, pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and pi. The next thing I'm going to do now is take these values and do step 3, which is finding my 5 x values. I'm going to put my table up here. So my 5 x values are 0, pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and pi. Alright, this goes back to like the very first lesson of graphing sine and cosine. I get them from the unit circle. Okay? So, x, now we're going to find tangent of x. Well, your x value is 0. So I'm going to draw a partial unit circle. I'm not going to do all of it. Tangent at 0 is here. The order pair here is what, class? 1, 0. My x value is 1, my y value is 0. Now we don't need r value, like r value is 1, right? I don't need the r value. Tangent is which two of these letters? Y over x. So if you need to write that down, you can. Tangent is y over x. So tangent at 0 here is 0 divided by 1, which is what, class? 0. Tangent at pi over 4. Pi over 4 is the middle bullet point. So 1, 2, 3. Count back up, 3, 2, 1. So this would be radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2. So this is pi over 4. So this is your x, this is your y. So tangent is y over x. So this expression over itself is just equal to 1. Tangent at pi over 4 is 1. Tangent at pi over 2, what's the order pair there, class?
0, 1.
So I need y over x, which is 1 over 0, which is undefined. Three pi over 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So they're both radical 2's over 2's, but the first one is negative. Tangent is y over x. This expression over itself is equal to what? Negative 1. And then the order pair here negative 1, 0. What's tangent? 0 over negative 1, which is 0. So, if you get stuck, just draw out the unit circle and use the parts you need. Notice how I didn't have to draw out the whole unit circle. I have now my 5x values. Now I'm going to do step number 4. We're going to graph it. Let's graph these values together. The first one I want to graph is undefined. Class, what does undefined look like? It's an asymptote. So, on my graph, at pi over 2, I'm going to draw a dotted line. A graph cannot exist there. At 0, I have 0. At pi over 4, I have 1. You can arbitrarily draw 1 wherever you like. So I'm going to do 4 boxes. That means 4 boxes down will be negative 1. Pi over 2 is undefined. 3 pi over 4 is negative 1. So here I'm going to go down negative 1. And at pi, I have 0. Let me draw the graph for you. Now the graph looks kind of funny. So we're going to do step number 5. Which is more. And so what I'm going to do is, I told you before, I needed space to the left or to the right, so I'm going to expand my graph. I'm going to graph 2 more points. Here I drew bullet points to kind of show where I started from, and then now I'm going to draw tick marks to just show that I've added to the graph. So 2 more points to each side. Now, if you actually took this point, if you notice how we're counting pi over 4, so 3, 4, this one will become what? 5 pi over 4. And this one will become what? 6 pi over 4, which is 3 pi over 2. So we're just counting by pi over 4, is 3, 2, 1, 0. This will become negative pi over 4, negative 1 pi over 4. Negative 2 pi over 4 is negative pi over 2. And what you'll recognize is, if you actually do the same thing, you can use the unit circle. You'll realize that tangent at negative pi over 2 is just undefined. So every basically 5th point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, asymptote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, asymptote. If you use the unit circle, you'll find that 5 pi over 4, it's going to be 1. And over here at negative pi over 4, it's also going to be at negative 1. And let me show you this little trick. Do you guys see my 3 points there? It forms a line. Do you see that? Over here as well. And what that does is, it's basically going to create a tangent, which looks like a snake. graph of tangent. Now, remember, our original graph kind of looked like this. And I wanted to expand it out more because I kind of want to see the full snake, the full tangent graph. Now, if you use your calculator, I'm in radian mode. I'm pressing y equals, put tangent of x, zoom, 7, trig, zoom trig, and it gives you a basic graph of tangent. So it gives you an idea of which direction it's kind of curving towards.